Hi, it's Sarah, and this is the next gamification video. My camera does keep doing strange things like that, so we'll see. Hopefully it will stop. So we are using this book, remember, Super Better by Jane McGonigal. I don't actually know what video we're on, but I do know that we are on the, can I even do it? The third, what is so wrong? There we go, 3. The third rule in being gameful. And remember, our purpose in this is to help young people take gamification ideas and apply them into real life. So it's getting quite complicated now, so I do have my book with me, Big Ideas. So if you do see me reading it, I do apologise. I've got to try and keep it here so it doesn't look like I'm reading it, but I can't remember anything. So the gameful rule number 3 is all about beating the bad guys, and I really love this one because obviously in video games we are constantly fighting the bad guys to get to the end, to get to our goal. And actually, I think in life we are pretty much doing the same too. And how Jane McGonigal defines a bad guy is that it's anything that blocks our progress, anything that causes us pain, anxiety, or discomfort, or blocks our progress towards our goal. The cats are making an appearance. I can hear them meowing, so I apologise for that. So what this gameful technique is about is all about beating the bad guys. And she mentions a quote by T.S. Eliot, which I love. And it says, "If you aren't in over your head, how do you know how tall you are?" Isn't that an amazing, amazing quote? I just think it's wonderful. So why should we learn how to beat the bad guys? I mean, the bad guys. I mean, what is the point in beating the bad guys? And what she talks about in this awesome book, which I can't stop going on about enough, is something called psychological flexibility. So these are all words. I've been in this field for over 26 years, and some of these words I haven't even heard about. And psychological flexibility is, putting that in front of the camera there, my purple book, is the courage to face the things that are hard. If we can get more courage to face the things that are hard, we can open up more to negative experiences and failure and be able to deal with them more. So if we're more psychologically flexible, we're more positive, we have better emotions, we're more able to have greater success actually, and we learn valuable tips along the way to deal with life, because let's face it, life has a lot of negative experiences and failures in it. So this is the reason that young people should learn to battle even the bad guys. And she talks about bad guys in 4 particular areas, and she uses these areas a lot, and I think it's really helpful for us to talk about these when we're talking to young people. She talks about mental, emotional, physical, and social. So, mental might be, what you're telling yourself about and coming up an exam, for example. And emotional might be, a really unpleasant emotion you feel every time you see your ex-best friend. Physical might be actually that you physically just, sit on the sofa all night. And social might be that you decline social events because, you're anxious about them. So when we're talking about bad guys, we need to talk about them in those 4 distinct areas: mental, emotional, physical, and social. And she says that there's basically 2 ways that we battle with the bad guys. And firstly is that we name them. And I think that this is really important. And actually we can have a lot of fun with this. Not that we name them and say, this is anxiety, this is depression, this is social, exclusion or whatever. That we actually name them in a fun way. So if you look at any kind of film or game or anything, the bad guys always have really cool names, like Darth Vader was the one that came to mind. And actually we give these bad guys a name. I mean, how cool is that? It could be the sloth, if it's that you won't get off the TV. I'm going to play with it. It won't get off the TV, won't get off the settee watching the TV. I'm going to play with these myself and see what my own bad guys are. So the first thing is that we name them. And then the second thing is that we what she calls, we develop a flexible response to them. What this means is that we decide that we are going to learn how to get over them, but we're going to take a flexible approach, meaning that we know that, you know, the thing that we use one day might not work the next. So we have to look at, you know, vaguely trying different things. So first we become aware by naming them, and second we start to learn how to get strong so they don't bother us, or literally just get over them, or we try and outsmart them. So, you know, there's various ways that we can do that. I'll talk about that in a minute. Still zooming in there. I don't know, you're going to be on my eye by the end of this. Oh, there we go, back on. So yeah, so this is all about, now my cat has managed now to get in, so she's going to be meowing even louder. So this is all about finding strategies to beat the bad guys. Firstly, making yourself aware of them, and I think doing that can be, you know, super, super helpful. And then looking at what is your flexible response to them. There is the cat. So she's just going to have to bear with me because I just want to finish this off. So there's 4 ways that we can develop flexible approaches to them. And I really like these 4 very simple ways. We can avoid, we can resist, we can adapt. There's 5 actually. We can challenge, or we can avert. Now, avoiding is something that we do a lot, and it can be done, but often young people will be avoiding in drink, in drugs, in all sorts of things that really aren't helpful. And actually, it's quite a difficult thing to do. But if we can avoid it and go off and do something else, so if we're feeling stressed and we go out for a run, then, you know, that's not necessarily a bad avoidance technique, but we have to be careful with avoiding. Secondly, is we can resist it, and we can actually sort of have a bit of a fight with it, really, and we can you hear her? This always happens. As soon as I sit down to record a video, there's one of the cats. So we can resist it, and we can, you know, say, actually, I'm not going to feel that, and I'm going to go off and do this instead. We can adapt. We can get real clever and creative at finding ways to work past it and to work through it. You know, which I think is probably the best way to deal with this. And for each bad guy and each person, that will be different. And we can challenge, and this is when we sort of, this is something I do a lot actually. So if I have a mental bad guy giving me a bad time in my head, I'll go, so what? Or what's the point in that? Or what are you really trying to tell me? So we actually challenge it. That is quite difficult, and I think when you're doing that with a young person, it has to be a young person who's very used to doing this sort of work. And the ultimate is that you end up converting that bad guy into a power-up. So for example, if your thing is that you come home from school and you just veg out on the settee, and that's the bad guy. Maybe you go, okay, so every time I want to veg out on the settee, I'm gonna go outside and for a walk instead. So you're converting the bad guy into a power-up. So her suggestions here are that you beat one bad guy a day. So each day you try and defeat just one bad guy. That you always do a power-up after a battle. That you track all your encounters and you make friends with the bad guys. So, I think there was a lot in there, but mainly the thing is to be aware of the bad guys and then deal with a flexible response to them. Because I think young people expect that you find something wrong, you deal with it once and it's over, or you deal with it once and you do the same the next day and it's fine. And sometimes that is not true. So I am now going to go and let my cat out. Any questions, please do let me know. I'm learning this at the same time you are. I'm also putting young people through a program involved in it, so I'm kind of learning about it as we go. So I hope that was helpful, and I look forward to next time when we will look at number 4 in the rules of being gameful. Take care. Bye.